In this video, we'll discuss and demonstrate how multiple light sources combine to form soft light. What would happen if you were to add a second light source, right? Now you've got two beams of light converging on the surface. What you would, instead of your circle of light, you now have two circles of light, and where they intersect, they're going to be brighter. And then where they're not intersecting, they're not as bright. Now, if you were to put an object into that dual beam, what you'd see is that you'd get two shadows offset. So one of them would be going this way and one of them would be going that way, and the shadows would overlap, which would give you two overlapping circles, and they would be darker where the shadows overlap. So you'd have a lighter shadow on the outsides and a darker shadow in the middle, which kind of look like that. It would go from all the way bright to a little bit darker to a lot darker, and then back to a little bit darker to all the way bright. Remember when we started to diffuse the edge, how it started to gradually go from dark to light? When we showed the photos, how they gradually went to dark? We're beginning to gradiate instead of a line from dark to light. We're beginning, now this is only two steps of gradation, but we're beginning to have a graduated change from light to dark. So let's go look at that.
Too far. That'll work. I'm going to turn on a little flashlight here. And we have a shadow. And it looks kind of like a pretty hard shadow because it's close, so it's pretty hard. And again, it's a little bit diffused, and that's why I put that card up there, because it almost looks like the shadow's out of focus, like camera's out of focus, but it's not. It's just because it's a little bit diffused. So if I have a second light, I have two shadows. And you can see at the top and the bottom of the lighter section, that's where you're only getting a shadow from one light. And in the middle, they're overlapping, and so it's darker. About a third light, and you get three shadows. And you get very light, where there's only one, and then a little bit darker where two of them are overlapping, and then even darker where three of them are overlapping. What you have is a soft light like this. You just made a soft light. You've got a gradual change from light to dark. It's not very gradual because you only got these 3-point sources, but it is jumping, from a little bit of shadow to more shadow to more shadow, and that's how you get a soft light, is you spread out from one flashlight to three flashlights to more flashlights to more flashlights. And the wider that source gets, softer the thing gets. So if you take, for example, this thing, look at all those lights. Now I've got a whole bunch of little light bulbs, right? Well, that's going to start looking like so many little shadows that unless you get a microscope, you're not really going to see them. Unless the thing's like a tenth of a millimeter away, it's just going to start looking like one continuous shadow. And then if you diffuse it, if you take that box and put it back on the front of there, it's going to completely white it out, because just like moving the source away made it even softer, when you put something like that on there that scatters the light, the shadows are completely gone. So in effect, when you put this on there, instead of being a little tiny dot of a light, this whole thing is now the light, basically. So now you've got something that's much larger. So it's going to wrap around much better.
Click on the next video to continue. New videos drop every couple of days. If you like what you see, like and follow us on our social media channels. And everything is downloadable for free on our website, ruchiproductions.com.